Hello. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about love, dating relationships, and mate selection. Dating emerged in the early 20th century as a distinctly American phenomenon. A variety of factors were catalysts for its development. The Industrial Revolution and the accompanying rural to urban migration, the invention of the telephone, the increase in the number of free, public, and co-ed, meaning both sexes were there, high schools, women's entry into the workforce, and the invention of the automobile, to name a few. As of the World War I era, dating was relatively structured. Men did the asking, they did the activity planning, and the paying. However, by World War II, the phenomenon of steady dating, meaning dating just one person exclusively, emerged. And it served to build a bridge between casual dating and getting engaged. Toward the end of the 20th century, opportunities for even more casual relationships increased, spurred in part by the increasing prevalence of co-ed housing on university campuses and increasingly equal enrollment in degree programs, which historically had for the most part been populated by one sex or the other. The traditional pattern of relationship development, from dating to going steady to engagement and finally marriage, disintegrated at that point. If you're dating someone exclusively, you expect him or her to comply with certain monogamous relationship norms. A study of the breakups of college-age monogamous dating couples yielded the finding that if you fail to meet your boyfriend's or girlfriend's expectations in any of these areas I'm about to mention, you place yourself at risk to be dumped. If you, and here's the list, if you are possessive or smother your partner, if you have significantly different or conflicting values, interests, or attitudes, if you often criticize your partner or are thoughtless, or don't consider your partner's feelings before you open your mouth and say something hurtful, if you often act in a guarded manner when you're with your partner or are secretive about things that you're doing, if you cheat on your partner, if you avoid your partner or restrict your partner's access to you, if you act selfishly, domineeringly with your partner or exploit your partner in some way, for example, for your own personal gain, if you allow your relationship to become routine so that the relationship stops having any spontaneity in it, or stops having any special treats or surprises for your partner. Therefore, remember to be kind and considerate of your partner. Treat him or her as a priority in your life. When you have arguments, fight fair and square. No hitting below the belt. Advice columnist Ann Landers characterized love as friendship that has caught fire. All of us at one time or another have probably mistaken sexual craving for love. However, lust by itself isn't love. It's just, as Ann Landers put it, one set of glands calling to another. One of the optional videos for this week of the course is called Love, Lust, and Marriage: Why We Stay and Why We Stray. This was an episode of an ABC News television program called 2020. During the program, anthropologist Helen Fisher discusses the notion of lasting love that progresses through 3 stages: lust, infatuation, which means thinking about the person all the time. You can't wait to see them or talk to them on the phone or so on. And then the 3rd stage is attachment. This is where your life has become so intertwined with your mates that you can't imagine life without her or him. Psychologist Robert Sternberg suggests the type of love that is viable over time has 3 components: emotional intimacy, passion, and commitment. Emotional intimacy entails communication, warmth, understanding, support, and sharing. The passion component may have to do with sexual passion or with passion in the sense of other strong emotional needs that you and your partner fulfill for each other. Commitment refers to your decision to devote yourself to the relationship and to do the work necessary to maintain it. For those who choose to get married, mate selection is a filtering process. You gradually weed out unsuitable others by applying increasingly strict set of standards to your pool of eligibles. As with developing a friendship, in mate selection, the first criterion or filter you will apply is proximity. Next, you will narrow the field according to attraction, selecting out those whose looks, personality, and/or social characteristics, meaning ethnicity, education, socioeconomic status, religion, etc., are what you are looking for. Most people make these decisions based on what we call homogamy. Homogamy means focusing on persons who are similar to yourself in social characteristics and perceived attractiveness. Other people, however, seek mates on the basis of what we call heterogamy. This means focusing on persons who are different from yourself in those areas I mentioned. Once you've established a girlfriend or boyfriend relationship, you will continue to assess that person's compatibility with you, meaning the degree to which his or her temperament, needs, habits, values, and so on are a good fit with your own. Family members may be pressuring you to go in the direction of endogamy, which means marrying somebody within your own social group, be this a religious, ethnic, or social class grouping. In some cultures, family members apply the opposite sort of pressure. They apply pressure to get their family member married outside of his or her social group, which we call exogamy. As a final test of compatibility, you may decide to go through a period of engagement or try living with your prospective spouse for a while before deciding for certain to marry. People who are committed to keeping their relationship healthy and viable over time think and interact differently than those do who are less committed couples. They speak in terms of we, us, and ours instead of I, me, and mine. They ignore others who try to lure them into what you might call an extracurricular relationship. Each person works to achieve a balance between having it his or her own way and allowing the partner's preferences to prevail, whether in the arena of recreational activities, for example, deciding which restaurant to go to, or household projects, for example, what color to paint the living room. They encourage and support each other's pursuit of personal and professional goals. They tolerate each other's occasional bad moods and thoughtless acts. Each partner responds constructively to any criticisms or provocations from the other, rather than, quote unquote, biting back. They forgive each other's minor wrongdoings and betrayals. Based on his own research, psychologist and relationship specialist John Gottman found the best predictors of relationship unhappiness, breakups, and divorce are what he called the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. The 4 horsemen are criticism, which means attacking the partner's personality or character rather than identifying specific behaviors that are of concern. The second horseman is contempt, meaning insults, mockery, or hostile humor. The third horseman is defensiveness, meaning making excuses or counterattacking your partner. The fourth is stonewalling, meaning listener withdrawal, clamming up, or the silent treatment. Additional research by Gottman suggests that belligerence, which means the sort of in-your-face taunts that are designed to escalate rather than resolve a conflict. For example, what are you going to do about it? Just try and stop me. Have an equally corrosive effect on relationships and could be considered the 5th horseman. It appears, in short, that couples who are open and constructive with each other, who share tasks and recreational activities, who have friends in common, and who take the time to ensure each other of their love and commitment, and who are typically in good spirits, are likely to be happy together over time.